I must say that the 2026 NBA All-Star Weekend was a great exhibition of entertainment, probably one of the best I've seen in years. And the moment that left the most impact on me was after Keyshawn Johnson won the 2026 NBA Dunk-Off Championship. He passionately expressed to the viewers that they should keep on dreaming and have faith, but not just faith. He expressed this notion of crazy faith. He said that they need to have crazy faith. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, because I thought to myself, it's true. If you want to achieve great things in life, you have lofty goals, you want to do great things that not just regular people are doing, you're going to have crazy faith. So much so that when you fail, people are going to look at you and say, you were crazy. Like, what were you thinking? You were crazy. And that's fair. But also, when you succeed, people are going to look at you and say, wow, that was crazy. So if you want to get to these heights that these pro athletes get to, you want to achieve lofty goals, you want to do great things in school, in the arts, you're not going to have a lot of people that understand what it is that you're trying to achieve because they haven't achieved these things themselves. They haven't aspired to these type of things themselves. So you're going to have faith in yourself and faith in the Creator. And sometimes the faith that you have is going to have to be ridiculous. So big shouts out to Keyshawn Johnson, a.k.a. Showtime, for bringing that electric energy and winning this year's NBA All-Star Weekend Dunk-Off Championship. But most of all, big shouts out to you for sharing with the millions of young viewers the concept, the notion, the idea of crazy faith. So the NBA All-Star Weekend three-point contest was crazy. Saturday afternoon, Colin Knippel out of the gate dropped a score of 27 points. That was wild. Right then, that just set a benchmark of what everybody had to be able to match to compete moving forward for the rest of the competition. Up next was Donovan Mitchell. He hit a point total of 24, and that was actually pretty dope considering what he was up against with the 27 from Colin Knippel. A lot of shooters did really well. Norm Powell started off slow. I was like, oh man, poor Norm. But then he finished with 23, finished off strong his last two racks. That was it was actually pretty exhilarating to watch him catch fire at the end and be able to hit a score of 23 to keep him in the game. Because at the start of his run, you thought, okay, this guy's not going to make it. Then Devin Booker's turn. Devin Booker went crazy. I think, watching this might be recency bias, but I think Devin Booker might have the most beautiful stroke in the NBA, at least in the three-point contest for sure. Yo, when I watched his form, it looked so mechanical, but still so fluid. And when I say mechanical, because it was the same release, same structure, same form every time, same form, same structure, same release. It was just beautiful. I was like, man. Then I thought to myself, does Curry's stroke look like this? I don't know. Because Curry's the best that we've ever seen, right? Okay. But Devin Booker's form looked flawless. I almost became a fan. I'm like, oh, you know, I think I'm going to start liking Devin Booker as a basketball player now. But then Lillard, he put on a showcase of shooting. It was a great exhibition. I mean, every competitor put up a good showing. But Damian Lillard, Colin Knippel, and Devin Booker, it was excitement. And those guys did not fail to put on a fantastic showcase and a fantastic showing and a fantastic competition. And at the end of it all, Damian Lillard came out the victor. And it was good to see because he hasn't played all year. And like he expressed during his interview, he's like, I'm just glad that NBA allowed me to be able to come and compete and show what I got and do something for the fans because I haven't been able to compete all year. And it just gives me a little something to be able to get my my competitive juices flowing. And I felt good for him, knowing that he went out with an Achilles injury. Achilles. How do you say it? Achilles. I'll be here all night if I'm going to try and say this word properly. But anyways, Achilles tendon. There you go. That's got to be the right way. Anyways, so yeah, big shouts out to the participants in the 3-point contest. You guys did a great job. You guys put on a show. Thank you for that. And then let's get to All-Star Sunday. Let's get to the All-Star game. The world versus America. We had the young guys being the stars, and the older statesmen, LeBron and the crew being the stripes. So it was the world versus the stars and the stripes. And it was a fun little round robin tournament that they had. Each team had 2 games, and then the best 2 teams played against each other in the finals. It was probably the most competitive All-Star game I have seen in years. Exciting. And you know what? If it wasn't for the world and the stars playing the very first game, it might not have been as exciting as it was. But right out the gate, Victor Wembanyama wins the tip, runs into the low post, posts up, he gets a pass. I think it might have been less than 10 seconds. As soon as he got the ball on the low post entry, as soon as he touched the ball, he turned and dunked the ball. It was dirty. And then he came down again on the next possession and scored a 3-pointer. So right there, he set a tone of energy and aggression that the other team had to match if they wanted to compete. And it was a great game. The first game ended up in a tie. When they went into overtime, the world team won by a 3-point shot. Fire. So good. And then the next game was going to be the Stars versus the Stripes. The Stars being the young Americans versus the Stripes, the older statesmen, the older Americans. And that game was also exciting. And I want to give kudos to LeBron James. Everybody knows I'm not a big LeBron James fan. I'm not a hater, but I'm not a fan. You know, Steph Curry's my guy. Pascal Siakam's my guy. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's my guy. LeBron, I'm not a fan, but I do appreciate the fact that he is great, and I will not take that from him, and I will not sit here and argue with people as if he's not great. He is great. I'm not a fan of LeBron. Right? It's not a hate LeBron, just I'm not a fan. But what I do appreciate is that he put in full effort throughout this the All-Star game. He was running on defense. He was running lanes. He was jumping for alley-oops. He was going for blocks. He showcased really well. Like he showcased the way that the face of the league should showcase in a showcase game such as an All-Star game. He did really well, and I give him big props for that. And I think that might not have happened had Victor Wembanyama not set the stage for how this was supposed to go in the first game. Right? So there were a lot of good games. All the games were exciting. The Stars, which are the young Americans, they won the championship. So they won that tournament. They won All-Star weekend. They won the All-Star game. So the Stars, they won the All-Star game. They beat the Stripes in the finals. Anthony Edwards was awarded the MVP of the All-Star game. But if you're to ask me, the MVP of the All-Star game was Victor Wembanyama. Not because of his production, not because of the points he put up, but because of the impact he had on how the game ended up being. Victor Wembanyama set a precedence of how these games are going to be played on this Sunday afternoon. And that made everybody play amazing. And that made everybody play hard. That made everybody showcase what it is that they had to showcase on this NBA All-Star Weekend that a lot of people have been complaining about for the past couple of years. So if it wasn't for Victor Wembanyama putting out the energy and effort that he put out in the start of this game, the rest of the games might have looked really different. So when I say most valuable player of this All-Star game, it was Victor Wembanyama because of the value that he added to the impact of this game. And I'd say the best performer of the game was Kawhi Leonard, who put up a 31-point clinic. Yeah, so these games are 12-minute games. And Kawhi Leonard was able to amass 31 points in 12 minutes. He was unconscious. He was on. I think he went 5 for 5, or maybe 6 for 6 from three. But anyways, he went 5 for 5 from field goals for sure during a stretch of the game, and it was just like this guy was on fire. Matter of fact, lights out. So if you were to ask me, most valuable player of the game, Victor Wembanyama. Best performance of the game, Kawhi Leonard. Jaylen Brown, he showcased amazing. A lot of energy, a lot of aggressiveness. It was exactly what you would want to see in an All-Star weekend as a fan, in an All-Star game. Who else performed well? I think all the guys just did fantastic. But my standouts were LeBron James, for the fact that at his age, he still just gave you his all, and he showed you what he's capable of doing and didn't hold back. And I appreciate him for that. Victor Wembanyama for just setting the tone. Anthony Edwards for just being the super dominant athlete that he is. He played well. He got the MVP. He got the MVP because his team won. So big shouts out to him for that. And again, Jaylen Brown, he stood out to me because of the energy that he brought in every single game, defense and offense. And Kawhi Leonard for just that crazy showcasing, that crazy showing, that crazy outing that he did for 12 minutes, just showing you what it looks like to be lights out amongst elite players, not just against the regular players, but against the stars of stars. And he said, hey, I'm going to show you what a star look like. So big shouts out to you, Kawhi Leonard, for that. On the heels of your nonsense comment about the Raptors not being talented enough, thinking that they were better than they were, but now they're good enough. What the hell was you talking about? Hottest take ever. Anyways, NBA All-Star Weekend, fantastic showcase of entertainment. You did a great job this year, NBA. If this is how it's going to look moving forward, I think it's in a good spot. I'll see y'all.